Well, students, we're going to keep working on these monsters today, and you can, most of you are ready to start the background. If for some reason you did not get patterns on the arms or legs, or you still have patterns on the body to do, I would like you to finish any of these patterns, finishing these as well. So it's easiest if you do just make the arms and the legs match. So I have chosen just to go with yellow. I'm seeing a few white spots, so I'm gonna go back and color these in, and then I'll do orange, and then yellow, and then orange, and then just yellow as I work with just lines. Then I would work over here and make this leg match and be the same. If your arms and legs are all done, then I would like you to use a pencil to draw a background. Now, with the pencil, one of the things that I would think about is this thing called a horizon line. It's a line that can separate the ground from the sky, just like what we did when we made your snowmen. We did kind of a snow hill. It could be a line that's curvy like this. I'm gonna have mine be more of a diagonal line, and it's not gonna go on my monster. It's gonna stop when it gets to my monster. And I'm gonna decide what I want the land and what I want the sky to be. If I want my monster living in outer space, or I want my monster living in a hot lava land, or in a very cold, icy place. Or maybe it's a real place, like it lives in the zoo, or your monster lives in a neighborhood and you're making like houses and trees, or it lives in a park and it's a friendly, happy monster. You can decide wherever you want it to be. I'm gonna have mine be in outer space. So I think in this space, I could make maybe a rocket. So I'm gonna make a rocket engine right here, and I'm gonna have like a curved line that comes up. And this will be the top of my spaceship. You can see that I'm making it so big that part of it's gonna go right off the page. I'm gonna make some fire that's shooting out of it, which I think could be cool. And then I'll do like a wing up here, and then maybe like another wing, and this is gonna go right off the page. I wanna make sure that I've got some windows for it. And then if I'm in outer space, I'm thinking about, well, what else might I see? Well, this ground that the spaceship is on, maybe I have, this is a crater, which is like a hole in the planet, like the moon has craters on it. Or maybe I'm just gonna do like some curvy lines. Maybe on this cool planet, I have maybe a volcano or something. And I'm gonna have some hot lava that's like spilling out of it. Or even cooler, I could have some hot lava that's shooting out of the top and spilling over the sides. So once you have your land done, you can think about, well, what's gonna go in my sky? In outer space, maybe I'm gonna have a planet like Saturn that has some rings around it. Or maybe I'm gonna have some clouds in the sky. Or I could have a shooting star. So these are all things that I can think about. There's not a lot of space up here, so maybe I'm just gonna put a little bit of wind and have a big cloud that goes behind this horn up in the sky. So you can figure out what your sky is gonna be. When you're done, I'm gonna put one more star right here. That's shining, kinda like the sun. Then raise your hand and I will give you a marker. With your marker, I'm gonna have you trace everything out. So please raise your hand, give you a marker. Once all of your marker is done, then you can erase any of the pencil if you can still see some. So if for some reason I missed some of it, that's okay. I can just erase it. And please make sure that your background is not the same as mine. We're all going to come up with different ideas, because that's part of using our imagination. So here, to finish up over in this corner. Now it's going to be time to color it. And one thing that I would do is I would get it do coloring first and then do mixing second. I know that we did a lot of mixing with the monster. The background's pretty big and there's a lot to color, so that's why I would color first and mix second. So now that my background is done, I'm just gonna take this. If I see any pencil, I can just erase that away. Let's just pretend that I'm done doing that. When that's done, and I start coloring it, I'm gonna think about a color for the ground. So I'm thinking, what could be a cool color for the ground? I think maybe I'm gonna do a little bit of black. So I'm gonna go with black around my monster, because I don't wanna get that on the monster, and I do wanna go around my volcano too. So you can see, just like what I did on the monster, I kind of went around everything. Then I can carefully color it in. Usually black is the last color I use, because I don't want black to smear into my lighter colors. So I'm gonna just have to be careful about that. If black is one of the first colors you use, just be careful that it's not smearing into the other things. Now I want my volcano to be a different color, so that's why I'm not coloring that. I'm just coloring all the way down to the bottom of the paper. I'm gonna make sure to do this all the way around my monster and all the way to the other side. Trying to make sure there's not a lot of white spots. I'm filling this in the best that I can. Now, once I'm done with the bottom here, I've got to take this and trace around all my other details. So you can see here, I have to go around this crater or around this circle, because I'm going to make that a new color. I don't want black to get on it and smear into my other colors. Same thing, I'm going to go around my hand, and I'm going to go around this spaceship. So it's always good to trace stuff first. Then I'm going to take this and carefully color it in. Once I have all of that done, then I'm going to start working on the sky probably, and then the last part that I'm going to do is to do the details. So I want to make sure that the sky is a different color than the ground, so that it doesn't all look the same. So I think since black is so dark, maybe it would be fun to do a pink sky, and then it would be dark on the bottom and light up at the top and make it more like a sunset. So I would do the same thing, kind of go around all of this stuff, go around my planet, around my monster. I'm just gonna do half of it so you guys have more time to work. But I would go around all of this stuff. Then I would take this and fill this in too. Now once all of this is colored in carefully, then I'm gonna start working on coloring in the details. So I'm gonna take this one, because this one already has some colored on it, and I'm going to do some of the details. So you can see that with this crater here, I colored this with a little bit of yellow, and since this was a new shape, I colored it then with a little bit of brown. Then I came over here, I wanted the volcano to be a little bit of brown, and I even used a little bit of light brown and tan. And then I'm adding a little bit of color to the hot lava. I wanted to make my spaceship blue, but I wanted to make sure that it wasn't all blue, so I went around the windows and around the wings and stuff, and then I took it and I made these other colors. That's why I use red and orange and gold, golden brown, okay? Then when that was done, then I started working on the details in the sky. I wanted this to look like a shooting star that was bright, so I used yellow, but I wanted my clouds to stay white, but you can always just add a little bit of blue to the bottom of them, or sometimes a little bit of gray is nice, and then leave the rest white, but it helps it kind of stand out a little bit. You can also see that I traced the wind. Now, if it's all colored, then I would do a mix. Blue works nice with black, gray also does, and then I can make this imaginary planet be kind of a bluish black color. So if you choose to do a mix with black, gray usually works well, or a dark purple, dark color like purple or blue. And then for the sky, I can just think about the color wheel and doing something like pink is the same as red, that would work. Or I could do pink and orange, or I could do pink and purple would work too. So I think that I'm gonna go with pink and orange, and I would just take that and I would do a little bit of a mix into the sky. So please don't tell me you're done. If you think that you have it all colored, then you can do a mix. And that's why I did a mix on the ground, and then I'm doing a mix in the sky. And if I do a mix here, I'm gonna make sure that the mix is the same over here, so all of the pink matches. So then I've got pink orange here, then pink orange here, all the way over here, so then it all matches. Please do not tell me you're done. If you think at any point that you're done, then I would go back and I would just make sure that some of your patterns are colored in carefully. If you see any white spots that are left or any areas that can be your best, just go back and fix those up. So let's have fun working on these monsters.